For 15 years, Johnny Depp has been regarded as one of the finest actors of his generation. Born in Kentucky, he moved to Los Angeles in his teens with the hopes of carving out a career in music. He started acting to pay the bills and soon landed the starring role in the television series 21 Jump Street. While he could have had a conventional career as a leading man, he has instead made a career of choosing unusual roles. Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, Donnie Brasco, and What's Eating Gilbert Grape. His latest project, Sleepy Hollow, marks his third collaboration with director Tim Burton. I am pleased to have Johnny Depp back on this program. Now, when you watched that, first of all, you've never seen Gilbert Grape.
I've never seen Gilbert Grape, no.
Anything else in there you haven't seen? A movie that you have made?
I haven't seen Sleepy Hollow yet.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm kind of masochistic in that way. I'm going to wait until the premiere to see it, which is really...
Because you want the joy of seeing it for the first time at the premiere?
Yeah, well, joy is not the word I would... I mean,
pain?
Yeah, I mean, if I could not see the movies, I think I'd be better off. I get very uncomfortable watching myself. It feels strange. You know?
Do you like being an actor?
I do, most of the time. Most of the time. I mean, there are some occupational hazards that I could live without, but yeah, I mean, it's a good job. It's
okay, but I mean, is it art and passion and all that for you, or is it simply craft and like a good plumber, I'm going to do a good job and move on?
It's passion, certainly. Art, I would say I would aspire to be able to do something that's considered art. I'm not sure that that can be done in the movie industry, the movie business, because of that fact. It's the movie business. There's commerce involved.
Because of the demands that they make in terms of box office, or their assumptions about box office?
Assumptions about box office, demands about box office results, return on the money, all that stuff. Things that really are none of my business, you know. I mean, when my job is done, it's done. And so,
yeah. You set out to be a musician, and you got into this for a lot of reasons, and you are, you know, yes, highly regarded.
Oh,
is it the downside of it, the loss of privacy?
Yeah. Yeah, the loss of privacy, kind of, even more than just the loss of privacy, the sort of aggressive invasion on your privacy, on your private life. It's very strange because you are treated in some circumstances as a novelty, and that's a very uncomfortable position to be in. I mean, mostly by particularly like the paparazzi.
Yeah.
They have a tendency to be pretty aggressive.
You're back with Burton.
Yeah.
Scissorhands, Ed Wood.
Yeah.
What else? Is this the third?
Yeah, this is the third.
Yeah. There is that kind of slant about you, which you and Burton share.
Yeah, I think we connect on these kinds of levels. Yeah.
Well, what other kinds of levels?
I think we share a similar sense of humor. For some reason, on this film, we had a particular obsession with Georgie Jessel.
Oh, I heard about this, yeah. Give me your best Jessel.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Georgie Jessel here. It got so bad, I mean, our obsession with Georgie Jessel, that literally they'd roll camera and the guy would do the sticks, and I'd just be getting ready to walk into frame, you know, to begin the scene, and suddenly I would hear, "And action!" And it was Tim doing Georgie Jessel. And then, of course, at the end of the scene, cut! You know? So we were sort of obsessed with Georgie Jessel, and why aren't there people like Georgie Jessel today?
At this stage in a relationship where you both are on the same wavelength, where you've done several things before, is there much communication about what you're doing and what he wants you to do and where you've married those two?
Tim is particularly amazing in that way for an actor. He's a dream for an actor, because he will give you suggestions and he'll plant certain seeds, and then you take that and you use that as an ingredient. But he allows you complete freedom to create a character from the ground up. Even there were times, I mean, before we did Scissorhands, he rehearsed everyone. He didn't rehearse me. He didn't really know exactly what I was going to do when I walked on the set. Same thing with Ed Wood. I mean, I spent the first 2 weeks of Ed Wood and Scissorhands, and in fact Sleepy Hollow, thinking that I was going to be fired. I was going to be replaced. Because I just thought, there's no way I can get away with this. There's just no way. But luckily, Tim was happy with the stuff, and I didn't lose my job.
You're not serious.
Oh yeah, I swear to you. I swear to you. I can remember when we were doing Scissorhands, we were living in this sort of resort, some kind of country club thing. And there was a knock at the door. This is like 1990. There was a knock at the door one afternoon, and everybody was off rehearsing. And there were two young girls at the door, so I figured, well, they found me, and maybe they want me to sign something. I don't know. You know, you get used to sort of conditioning. So I opened the door. I said, how do you do? And they said, hi. And they said, is Tom Hanks here? Does he live here? I said, what? They said, does Tom Hanks live here? And I said, no, not yet.
Not that I know of.
And I was convinced that Hanks would be replacing me. I was convinced.
That's great.
It was one of the most frightening moments in my career.
You don't seem to be the kind of guy that would have an insecurity in your body. I mean, you seem to say, take life on my terms. If you don't like it, fine. If you don't, I mean, you know.
That makes more insecurities. No, I got plenty. I got plenty. But I do feel a kind of need to follow what it is, whatever it is I'm after. I mean, I need to bash on into the direction that I'm going. Yeah, it's important to do what you want without much compromise.
Sure, sure. I mean, but at the same time, it's important to be a professional because other people, and they have a certain element of accountability. And yes.
Yeah. I mean, professional is a good thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Try not to be late. All that stuff.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we owe it to our fellow.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, you got
camera people.
When you got 100 people sitting on a set, waiting for you. Yeah, you get the long face when you arrive. No, I don't do that.
You don't do that. All right, Ichabod Crane. We're going to tell the story. I mean, we know the story, but in this case, you are a police constable.
Yes.
Who come up to Sleepy Hollow to do what?
Basically, Ichabod Crane in this version of Sleepy Hollow is a constable in New York City. And he is not well liked by his fellow officers and by the brass.
Pray tell why.
He's sort of he fancies himself a kind of ahead of his time, so he's invented these kind of forensic, for forensic studies, and he's invented these sort of tools and things like that. And he's a pretty self-righteous type guy, and he's not liked at all. So he's sent away to Sleepy Hollow to investigate these sort of gruesome murders.
He's also a coward.
He's a complete coward, yes. He's a total coward, yeah.
All right. Here is the scene from Sleepy Hollow where Ichabod Crane is being briefed on the murders in Sleepy Hollow. Here it is.
Both of them strong, capable men, found together, decapitated.
It's a great cast of people. I mean, Michael, the great Gabon.
Michael Gambon is a genius,
Yeah.
All those guys, I mean, walking into that room, that was one of the first days of shooting, maybe the first day of shooting. And walking into that room with Michael Gambon, Miranda Richardson, Richard Griffiths, Jeffrey Jones, Ian McDermott, it doesn't get better. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. Yeah.
You learn from them?
Absolutely. You become a sponge and soak up as much as you can, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, when Mike was here, he came by on the stage, I mean, he's just amazing.
Yeah, he's also completely out of his mind. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. He's totally out of his mind.
See, I would think that would make movies fun. The idea, if you can come together on a project with a group of people with a common purpose, it's not a lifetime, and engage in something together.
Yes.
Eat together, have fun together.
You bet.
Be committed to the craft of doing it well. Bring in a reservoir of experience and talent and
it's
skills.
Unbelievable. I mean, I consider every film that I do, it's an education. It's sort of an extent. You're always learning.
Take a look at this. This is another scene from Sleepy Hollow. I want to get to a scene with Christina Ricci. Who does she play?
Katrina Van Tassel, the daughter of Michael Gambon.
Okay, here it is. Roll tape.
I think you loved me that day when you followed me into the western woods. To have braved such peril.
What peril was there for me? It was my own father who controlled the Headless Horseman.
You, as I was watching her, said you first met her when she was 9.
9 years old, yeah.
She's now 19.
Now 19.
There are love scenes in this movie.
There are intimate scenes, and yeah, it was odd. It was you know, it was uncomfortable because I still have that image of the 8, 9-year-old girl in my head. So you know, it was uncomfortable. But you know, we sort of laughed about it and got over it.
Boy, she's hot too, isn't she? I mean, I don't mean hot in the sexy scene, but she's hot in terms of her career.
She's doing very well. Yeah, she's making good choices, and yeah, she's doing really well, Christina.
Speaking of choices, have you made good choices in your judgment? I mean, do you look back and say, look, I did what I wanted to do. It's defining of me, but if you don't, you might have wanted me to do something else, but that's not where I was in my own head.
There were other things that I probably should have done, not from my perspective. I mean, from my point of view, I did the right things. Every film that I've done, I'm happy that I made that choice. I don't have any regrets whatsoever. But I mean, in terms of sustaining box office, bankability, I should have done a few other things that I didn't do. But I'm glad I didn't do them. Me,
because it wouldn't have been you.
Yeah, it would have been for the wrong reasons. Everything that I've been lucky enough to do, I did for the right reasons.
Most people would say that if you'd wanted to be a, quote, and maybe you are, I don't quite understand these terms, but if you wanted to be a leading man in a traditional way, it was yours there for the taking, and you didn't want that.
I think any actor, given a certain amount of success or given a certain amount, somebody hands you the ball, you run with it. Any actor could do that. But it's not me. It wasn't me. I mean, my heroes are, Lon Chaney is one of my heroes, one of the greatest character actors of all time. I would prefer, I aspire to be thought of as a character actor, or to be a character actor. I think that's much more interesting.
You think you'll be successful in that, or the way the system works will just grab you and make you, into whatever, despite. In other words, it's a little bit like James Dean may have said, I don't want to be whatever. I don't know. But, but the system is going to take it because it's so appealing in some ways.
Well, the system, the industry, I was on a television series for three or 4 years, about 4 seasons. And I was, without question, a product. Not my own product. I was somebody else's product. And they shoved me down the throats of America, and it was a very uncomfortable situation. And I swore to myself that when I got off that show, I would do what I wanted, the way I wanted to do it. And I stick to that. So, I mean, if I had to do the leading man things just to continue to be an actor, to continue to work, nah, I'd rather go back to pumping gas.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at it. As I said, it's a great job. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had. But I mean, there are other things.
Can't you do both?
I can't.
It would be so distasteful that you wouldn't want to do it.
I just don't want to go out and make film Hallmark cards, and I just don't see the point. If something's been done 1,000,000 times, why do it again? Try something different, Just try it. I mean, the worst, you get shot down, but you should try.
Bad characters are more interesting.
Bad characters?
Yeah. I don't know what bad means, but more, I mean, characters that may be damned or something.
Damaged.
Damaged. Okay,
Damaged.
Better. Yeah.
Damaged characters are more interesting.
Because
but that's what's great about the work. Everybody's damaged. everyone is damaged on some level, and I'm fascinated with human behavior. I'm fascinated with the flaws of the human being. I mean, I'm just fascinated with it. I mean, ticks and, yeah, just sort of character flaws. Yeah, I'm fascinated with it. It's a strange thing, because the greatest thing you can do as an actor, I think, is to be an observer. And at a certain point, something bizarre happens, and you're not able to observe in public anymore because everyone is observing you. So that's a little bit, that's kind of a danger.
Aren't you already there?
Sorry?
Aren't you already there? I mean, this fascination with you, you know, has, in a sense, prevented you from I mean, you know, they're lining up outside the hospital while you're waiting for your daughter to be born.
Yes. Yeah, there was about 25 paparazzi outside, and it was like, you know, it's like remora fish, you know, these bloodsuckers. I just couldn't believe it, that they would try to take something so sacred and so special. I mean, your first child born happens one time, obviously, and these people outside, they are trying to turn it into some kind of a circus, and that's so unfair. I mean, Lily Rose, mine and Vanessa's daughter, our first trip out of the hospital, she was 5 days old. We had to escape down through the garage and out, and we were being chased by paparazzi. And we got to her parents' house, and we closed the gate, and we thought we were home free, and we were just about to get out of the car. This is our first trip in a car back, you know, home. We're just about to get out of the car, and suddenly a helicopter swoops down above the yard and just hovered there for like 10 minutes. We had to wait in the car until this thing left. I mean, that's bizarre. That's no way to live your life. That is no way to live your life.
The interesting thing is, you were telling me, I thought, you know, has nothing changed since the tragedy of Diana?
No. No, I don't think, no. They are aggressive beasts. They're aggressive beasts, and they're after one thing. That's
the shot.
The shot and money. It's a greed thing. I understand. For some, it's a you know, it's the bread and butter. Okay, I'm with you on that. But an innocent.
Yeah. There's no middle ground either, I guess, is it? I mean, there's no middle ground. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the subject of that kind of attention, but whether there's a middle ground where you can say, okay, look, the two of us will come out with our baby. You know, just let's do one shot, and then let's stop this madness.
See, that I'm not going to give them.
You won't give them that.
I won't give them a shot of my baby, of our baby, because she didn't ask for the attention, the weirdness. She didn't ask to be photographed. You know, it's not fair to her. It's not fair to put her through a 3-ring circus and make her jump through hoops. It's not fair. For me, for Vanessa, okay, you get the shot, get the shot. I will do everything in my power to avoid it, but if you get the shot, you get the shot.
So this will be a contest.
Yeah, you know. But, I mean, I have in the past approached them, you know, in as gentlemanly a fashion as I can. You know, I've asked the incident in London, I asked them, I said, please, I don't want to be what you want me to be tonight. I don't want to be Johnny Depp for you tonight. So we're celebrating, it's a special night, please leave us alone. And they were very aggressive. And
just in that voice, I bet. Yeah.
About like that. And they were aggressive, and you know, I had to take another route.
Well, what did you do?
I just so happened that there was sort of a piece of wood about yay big, about that round, and
yes.
I guess the restaurant used it as a door jamb, and I picked it up and smacked one of them on the hand with it, and I went outside and I said, now, please, take my picture, please, because the first flash that I see is the recipient of this. Let's have it. Let's do it. Let's have our photo shoot.
Right. What happened?
Not one picture was taken until the police arrived about 10 minutes later.
Then they all wanted to photograph that.
They did. That's when the flashes went off. But it was a
yeah, and it's not
it was
funny.
a beautiful.
I know I'm smiling because
no,
your retelling of it.
It was in fact a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment because it showed them for what they really are, and it was a kind of poetry to it. It was beautiful. I don't regret it at all. If I have to do it again, that kind of thing, I would do it again.
So when you were sitting in the jail for 5 hours, you said it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I just said to the cops, let me know when I can leave, The cops were real nice.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny that the jail cells over there are not called, they don't call it cells, they call them custody suites, which I thought was very nice.
Are they custody suites?
They're cells. But they were real nice, the cops, in fact. I liked them.
Oh,
nice.
you liked them, and so you got along with them fine.
Yeah, in fact, they understood. They said,
You shouldn't have to do this.
Yeah.
Endure this.
Yeah.
Man, this baby's great, though, huh?
She's everything. The baby is everything. It's so amazing, my little family. It's just so, it's unbelievable. It's I don't know. It's the only thing that's ever happened to me. Really, the only thing. Everything else is smoke. This is it. This is real life.
Did you see the birth?
I was there, yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, I've been, since May 27th, when my daughter was born, I've been floating. I smile constantly, which I never did before.
Yeah. And you never imagined you would have it this kind of...
No, you can never... Everybody tells you, and you know what their experience, and it's going to be something, sublime, but no, you just don't. You can't imagine until it actually happens. When you see this little angel arrive, it's. I mean, for Vanessa and I, the both of us have just been floating ever since. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Lily Rose.
Lily Rose.
And why Lily Rose?
I don't know. We just
liked the name.
It was the only. In fact, it was the only name that we'd come up with for a girl. Lily Rose. We both loved the name Lily. I think her mom Vanessa's mom suggested Rose, the Rose part.
Yeah.
My mom's name is Betty Sue, and we wanted something that sounded kind of like Betty Sue, that sort of southern thing. So Lily Rose.
That's great.
And then Melody, which is her middle name, is after Serge Gainsbourg, a song called Melody Nelson.
So her name is Lily Rose Melody
Depp.
Depp.
Yeah. She's something.
Man, you really look happy.
I'm floating. I've just, yeah. I mean, I've never ever in my life. I haven't lived before that date. I was not alive. I existed. I imagine that I drew breath and exhaled and all that stuff, but I don't have any particularly, fond memories of it. I mean, I don't think I took a real breath until my daughter was born.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Pleasure, as always.
Thank you.
Johnny Depp, the movie is Sleepy Hollow. It opens nationwide on November 19th. We'll do this again soon.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Thank you very much for joining us. Johnny Depp, the movie again, Sleepy Hollow, opens nationwide November 19th. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.